Welcome back to another episode of
the Utterly Unrelated Podcast.
Today we're gonna do what has never been done before. No, I'm kidding. A lot of people have done this before. Today we're gonna do a deep dive on Bigfoot. Oh, I know. Everyone does a deep dive on Bigfoot.
But not this fucking deep dive, they don't.
Not this deep dive, not this day. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep my screaming to a minimum because I found that once I was in the world of Bigfoot and aliens, my level of screams, it just skyrocketed, and I found myself screaming at my poor husband, "But you don't understand! The interdimensional blah, 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 blah." And he was just like, "Oh, this is awesome. It's really early." And I just woke up and you're screaming at me. So don't think you know what you're about to hear on today's episode, because you don't. I'm doing a deep dive on Bigfoot and the interdimensional wormhole. Da, 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 da. I'm going to prove to you why Bigfoot is an interdimensional creature. I'm going to prove to you why many universes exist within our own, and I'm also going to debunk that he's a ghost, because he's not a ghost. He's probably not a ghost.
Bro, I did the many worlds thing.
Yes.
Is this piggybacking off of that?
It is piggybacking off of it a little bit, which I'm super
we're
excited
bringing
for.
it back around, guys. You thought that my, 3 fucking quantum physics episodes were pointless. So did I, until now.
You had no idea.
I had no fucking clue.
We were setting it up for the future. So today we're going to talk about all the things that I learned watching Bigfoot documentaries, if we can call them that.
AKA pasty white dudes in the woods.
Pasty white dudes in the woods with camo hats and big bellies.
Yeah, and they're like, "We haven't showered for months. We have to smell like the Bigfoot smells."
Yes, right?
I think that they made that part up. I think that Bigfoot actually has proper hygiene. And their whole thing is like, you know when you have to go Bigfoot hunting and then you have Comic-Con later. So you gotta be stinky for both.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they have.
Totally.
That's their jam.
It's funny too because, so I'm going to give you a rundown of what you're going to get today. So we're talking, what is Bigfoot? How do you know when he's been near you? We're talking, is he a ghost? Is he a humanoid? Is he an alien? And we're going to get hung up on that part. Is he an alien? I'm going to tell you why I don't think so. Then we're going to get into my research and the interdimensional hypothesis of John Eric Beckjord, who was a San Francisco-based paranormal investigator. And then we're going to round it off with a little bit of Bigfoot erotica, because no one here gets out alive without Bigfoot erotica.
Everyone here's only listen to the first 15 minutes? Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I will say that I will tell you where to get the extremely not safe for work version of this Bigfoot erotica. But
Reddit.
Surprisingly not. I mean, I'm sure they have a lot there, but this specific story I found someplace else. Because it's a whole thing. And you know what? I shame no one's kink. Kudos to people who enjoy it. It is, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not here to yuck your yum, bro.
Dude, totally. But I mean, everybody needs to know that it's out there, because it might be your thing you don't even know you're into. So
right, I'm into hairy dudes, so yeah. I mean, that might be my new thing.
Yes, I will reserve what I was going to say for a little bit later, because it was going to be a spoiler. So
no spoilers, bro.
So we're only going to talk a little bit about the history of the Yeti, Sasquatch, or as Canadians pronounce it, Sam Squamch. Or if you live in the Pacific Northwest like Meagan and I do, Bigfoot.
We call him Sam.
We do. We call him Sam, and we're not going to do a whole thing, because I'm not getting into why he's... How can I put this? If you want to research Bigfoot from the perspective that he is a creature that lives on this earth, this is not the episode for you.
Yeah, that's what Big Bigfoot wants you to believe.
Exactly. And Big Bigfoot does not live here today.
Fuck no.
So I have a friend, and I won't name her just because I don't have her permission to name her, but she goes out on the Bigfoot hunts during the summer. And so she'll go up into the I believe it's Mount St. Helens.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I was like, really? You know her? So she is a scientist. She is a biologist, more importantly, and she and I, the day is coming. She's a friend of mine. I enjoy hearing her talk. She's very smart, but the day is coming when we will have a throwdown battle because she is in the camp that says Bigfoot is a real thing that lives and is an animal, and I am in the camp that says he is an interdimensional time traveling parallel universe hopping motherfucker.
And you know what, man? I'm more subscribed to like, Bigfoot's more like a way of mine, like Santa Claus.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I just made that up right now.
I really like that.
I cuffed that. That's what my mom told me about Santa Claus when I was little and I figured out he was real. My mom was like, Santa Claus is more like a state of mind. Like, you just gotta like be cool to people and
that.
Yeah. My mom was a good mom.
Yeah, she really
Dude, oh
totally.
my god, it was so cute. So I told her, okay, so in case you don't know, which you probably don't know, we are like number 24 on comedy podcast charts out of like 21,000.
Dude, we are
which is dope as fuck.
We are climbing the charts. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everybody. And so I told my mom that, and she was like, what is it exactly that you guys do? Do you guys just like, is it like Wayne's World? I was like, kinda it is. And she was like, I was like, you would hate it though. She's like, yeah, I figured. And she was like, that's kind of most of what you do though. And I was like, yeah, you're not wrong. Not to say she disapproves of what I do. She was very supportive when I was in a band. And she would go to my shows and stuff, but I just know for a fact that this podcast is not up her alley. She would listen, but begrudgingly.
Oh yeah, my mom in the very first episode, she was like, I got through 20 minutes, but you started talking about sexy guys and I can't listen to my daughter talk about sex. And I was like, yeah, get it.
Yeah, that tracks.
Totally.
But so she was like, oh my god, you're probably just gonna tell people that I said that Wayne's World thing. I was like, it is endearing. I think that that's very sweet.
That is the sweetest thing
and
I've
ever
heard.
like, and I am gonna say it. And she was like, well, at least nobody there knows me. And I was like, and you know what? If they did, they would think that that was very sweet and very endearing.
Yes.
I thought that that was adorable.
Dude, I'm honored to be compared to like Wayne and Garth. Holy
I know, right?
Shit.
Which one are you? Are you Garth?
Dude,
or
100%.
Wayne?
I'm Garth.
Cool, I'm Wayne then.
Yeah, because I need a lot of like, I need a lot of time air drumming from the passenger seat. I have a lot of internal fantasies about attractive people, and they're, like them turning to me and being like, oh, hi, Erin. I very much am Garth. I identify with Garth. I'm not the person that's like banging Cassandra, and going to her video filming and stuff and fighting for her with Rob Lowe. So
you can never win against Rob Lowe.
Dude, no. You can't. Even though he's been on Atkins for like 30 years and his poops probably smell worse than Bigfoot.
He probably poops once a year.
They eat so much protein. I don't know. He might just be like a pooping machine.
Nah, when I was doing keto for a while, I pooped like once a week, and it was like the tiniest.
Oh, it's just like a sad little shriveled up poo?
Yeah.
I don't know why I always...
It was not. I had no fulfilling BMs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Keto is brutal.
Yeah, I lost a ton of weight. I looked fucking good. Then I gained it all back in like 2 days.
That's the bad thing about fucking keto.
Yeah, for sure though.
Also, I had a lot of like fatty burps just from like eating all the salami and cheese and stuff. My body was like, no, it's too much fat and meat.
Well, and I've come to believe that my body, like some people's body is a temple, mine's more of like a dumping ground. But my body knows that, and it's fine with it. It knows its place. It's not even a fucking issue. My body's like, oh, you're eating that now? Okay, cool, gotcha. It's not even a fucking thought.
Dude, that's amazing. Your body's just like, I'm down for whatever. Let's take this. I'm ride or die.
Yeah, dude. My body's all like, life is a highway, and I'm gonna ride it all night long.
My body is like a sad Victorian ghost.
Oh.
Just like, no, that rice pudding, it will upset our constitution.
Man, I think that if I had really any sensitivities, they would have just gotten not beaten out of me. I was never beaten, but I would have starved to death.
Well, yeah.
If I was picky, like, holy shit, dude, no. That That wouldn't have worked out well at all.
I know, me too. I mean, I was kind of picky, but guess who's not picky? Bigfoot.
True that, homie. True that.
I mean, we don't know exactly what he eats, but everyone speculates it's anything from like people to like squirrels. I feel like he's an omnivore.
I feel like he's an herbivore, to be honest with you.
You know, I can see it.
Yeah.
I don't see him hurting other
Bigfoot
creatures.
feels for the creatures of the forest.
Right? He's misunderstood.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
So, things that accompany classic Bigfoot sightings. Prints that disappear mid-pathway. So you'll have a bunch of prints in the middle of a field and then they'll just abruptly stop. Funky ass smells. Stick structures, which, like a dumbass, I Googled, what do Bigfoot stick structures mean?
What do they mean?
Oh, we don't know. Surprise, surprise, we don't know.
Isn't that like pretty much the summation of all Bigfoot stuff is we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Exactly. Let's see.
Fun. That's neat.
I think it's fun because you know what? It's an opportunity to use our brains the way God intended.
Well, and if you want, you could really make Bigfoot kind of fill up your God hole, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Knocks on trees, pebbles raining down on you, barks, wails, other strange vocalizations that a lot of people that I saw had captured and were calling EVPs, which, not what I would call an EVP, but not a Bigfoot hunter. Unnatural silences in the forest just before bright flashes of light from which a Bigfoot then emerges.
Now, see, I figured the unnatural silence happens because, it's really loud in the forest for a moment, and, one person's trying to tell the other person about a story, and then, the unnatural silence always occurs, where, and then I ate his dick! So, I think that's more what those are about.
That could be. And Bigfoot's just like, "Aww, everything got quiet at the wrong moment." So there's a series of questions that I would like to pose and then prove why they're not right.
Dope.
So is Bigfoot a species so in danger of going extinct that he lives as far from humans as he can possibly get? A lot of people think so, but they also pose the question of where are the bones. Now, my friend and I have gotten into this because I was like, where are the bones? Where are the bodies? And she's like, do you understand how scavengers and predators and carrion work? They decimate a corpse.
Yeah, true that.
She's totally right. Totally legit. Bones and other identifiers are usually scattered by what I like to call the snackers. Is he a ghost and simply an echo in time of residual energy? I mean, that gets a hard maybe from me because it's speculated that Bigfoot could be a type of poltergeist. Now, this was really interesting because both in traditional home-based poltergeist cases and out in the forest, Bigfoot sightings have some things in common with poltergeists, like things moving of their own accord, strange smells, strange noises, things being there and then gone. So under this umbrella, yes, maybe poltergeist activity doesn't only happen indoors. It could be a thing out there in the woods. Perhaps there are physical Bigfoot, and the danger that they feel when they're being pursued causes this sort of poltergeist activity. Like how they say that teenagers going through hormonal changes can cause PK manifestations, and PK is psychokinetic. So if you have a teenage daughter and she's super hormonal and you take away her iPhone and then all of a sudden all your cupboard doors fly open, then the theory is that she did it with her mind rage.
That checks out.
It does. So Ed and Lorraine Warren, who...
Quick question,
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did my mind make this up, or is this true that Bigfoot can control the weather?
That is a theory. That is a
cool.
theory. And that is a theory that goes along with him being an alien.
Okay.
So, which we'll get into next. So Ed and Lorraine Warren are the famous, super uber Catholic paranormal investigators that are problematic, to say the least. But
oh, for sure.
Oh my God, yes. So, Vera Farmiga is gorgeous, and Patrick, what's his name, that plays Ed Warren in the movies, he's super handsome, and they are valiant in the movies, and they try just to help people in real life. They told many, many non-Catholic people who are suffering with like demonic infestations to go fuck themselves because they were Catholic.
Oh.
They were very problematic.
Damn, dude.
So at one point in history, I'm going to say the 70s because that was their heyday, they traveled to Tennessee to try and make contact with Bigfoot.
The Warrens?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after Lorraine telepathically contacted a creature, Ed concluded that Bigfoot wasn't just a physical being. He said, "It's my belief that Bigfoot is more of a tulpa or a mind projection like the Loch Ness Monster." Now,
okay, that's a hot take. Is that
Yeah.
like a widely accepted take that I have not that I didn't know about?
it is not. So a tulpa
Okay.
is definitely a type of mind projection. It's like a hallucination of the collective unconscious. So we all accept that Loch Ness monsters exist because we have enough people who have experienced a sighting that it makes it a little more acceptable. And so that's why you get a lot of conflicting reports of what does Bigfoot look like. This is Ed Warren's theory because everyone projects something a little different.
Okay, so Bigfoot's gonna look like whatever you think Bigfoot looks like.
Yes. Now, there's a lot of people who say he
okay.
has no neck, that he has these different sort of really intense features.
Do you think they were just saying Joe Rogan?
I wonder that, right? Was he muttering things like the N-word? Was he talking about his dick and balls? I mean, maybe Joe Rogan is Bigfoot.
I think that's my hot take.
It could be. I hope when all this
Just
is
saying,
over,
bro.
Michael Ian Black tweeted this morning, I hope when all this war stuff is over, we can go back to hating Joe Rogan. And goddamn, I agree. So that leads us to the next question. Is Bigfoot an alien like the Greys or the Whites? And is he from a Planet of the Apes style planet in outer space?
Hope so.
Perhaps the Bigfoot creatures are UFO pilots and they're landing on Earth for exploratory purposes, or conceivably higher level ETs are leaving behind some specimens as guinea pigs to test our environment for long-term survival. So it's sort of like dropping a cat on top of a mountain to see if they survive. Are the Greys dropping off their version of cats?
I was gonna say, like, okay.
Yeah. The earliest clues date back to 1888 when a cattleman described an encounter with friendly Native Americans in Humboldt County, California. They led him to a cave where he saw a hefty humanoid creature covered in long, shiny black hair with no neck, sitting cross-legged in a cave painting.
Okay,
Scratch
so isn't
that.
that Corpse Grinder?
No, scratch that. Just sitting in a cave. Corpse Grinder, what's that?
Like, the metal man.
Oh!
They're seeing Nathan Explosion.
Dude, they are seeing Nathan Explosion. That's brilliant. Yes. A hairy man with long, shiny
And
black
no
hair
neck.
and no neck sitting
Yeah.
cross-legged.
That's that.
As
isn't
Nathan...
it?
Ancient Nathan Explosion? Totally. One in...
Nathan Pre-Fire!
Dude, I love it.
Because there's no fire, can't have an explosion.
Yep. Nathan Pre-Fire in 1888. So one Native American told of these crazy bears, quote unquote, that had been cast out of a small moon that dropped from the sky. The moon then ascended back into the air. So it's likely the crazy bears were really the Nathan Explosion Bigfoots. Mm-hmm. And the moon was a spacecraft.
If some of them were taller than a tree, then some of them could have been Squizgar.
Oh my God, yes!
Toki's not a bumblebee. I mean, that
Toki's
pretty
not
well
a
covers most things.
Nathan. Oh, I'm trying to remember what Murderface's was.
William, Murderface.
Yeah! Dude, I fucking love Metalocalypse. So now what I'm doing is I'm only citing like 2 or 3 of the alien type sightings because there's millions.
There's zillions. We don't have all year.
We don't have all year. These were slightly more interesting.
Totally.
So
I'm kind of doing the same thing for my cryptid because there's
good.
a fucking zillion.
Yeah, there's
a lot.
so
much fucking mythos surrounding it. So I'm like, I'm gonna do broad strokes of like 3.
Totally. So let's see. Now fast forward 100 years to 1973, and Mrs. Rena Hetfield She and her 13-year-old son were sleeping in a trailer in Cincinnati, Ohio. On the morning of October 21st, that might be picking up.
You know who that son is?
Who?
James Hetfield.
Oh my God.
So much metal.
Oh my God, yes. She and her 13-year-old son, James Hetfield, yes, were sleeping in a trailer in Cincinnati, Ohio on the morning of October 21st, when she arose at 2:30 to quench her thirst. I didn't write this part. I'll let you know who did. And she noticed strange lights in the adjoining parking lot, which is sad that she was in a trailer in a parking lot. Oh, poor James Hetfield.
They were on the move. They were doing stuff. You've seen the video for that, for Turn the Page?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they were on the move. That was autobiographical.
Looking out the window, her attention was drawn to an inexplicable cone of light shaped like a huge bubble about 7 feet in diameter, and nearby she spotted a grayish ape-like creature with large, downward-angled snout, no neck, and a sizable waist. Pangolin?
Glenn Danzig?
Glenn Danzig, yes. Moving slowly, it then entered into the light, and about 5 minutes later, both Ape Man and UFO disappeared.
Okay, that actually tracks with that song Forbidden Zone from Misfits.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, Megan's gonna bring it all back to metal.
I guess
yeah.
I fucking am.
I love it.
Yeah.
So now we get to what I think is actually happening, and that's right, it's a hot take. Are you ready for it?
You fucking bet.
Dude, it's coming for your face. Okay, I think that Bigfoot is a predator-style camouflage champion who travels from a parallel universe, and he just sort of bumbles his way from wormhole to wormhole.
Like Doctor Who style, where he's just like this lovable doof?
Yeah, but
Cool.
also like Quantum Leap style, where he can't really control where he's going.
Oh, is he trying to just get back home?
He's trying to get back home. That's what I think. Yeah, because there are infinite wormholes. Okay, now, if you've seen The Missing 411, then you'll know about the people who go missing in national forests. And this is all going to tie back. So what we need to talk about first is John Eric Beckjord's his whole theory. I have to explain the theory a little bit first before this will make sense. So again, he was a San Francisco-based paranormal investigator and photographer known for his far-reaching ideas regarding such phenomena as UFO, crop circles, Loch Ness Monster, and his specialty, Bigfoot, which he believed to be an extra-dimensional ghost-like entity that lives in mountains, forests, and even farmers' fields. He said that this was no more bizarre than the theories of Einstein. He considered many of his ideas to be continuations or expansions upon Einstein's work, which I thought was really cool. So just to break down his interdimensional hypothesis really, really quickly. A good example in literature is like Through the Looking Glass, where Alice goes into a mirror and enters a world where everything is reversed. A parallel universe, or a world which is different from the many worlds theory that you talked about. So this is definitely more like if any of you have watched Loki, or if any of you have seen his Dark Materials, they talk about how our dimensions are sort of layered on top of us like a 7-layer dip. And so there are like here's our dimension, above that is like the guacamole layer, which is another dimension, and then the refried beans, and then it goes on and on and on. And so it's more like a layered cake. And so wormholes exist around us, and doorways that sort of lead to these other dimensions, but nobody has been able to map it out properly. So heaven and hell, he surmises, are also parallel universes. And if you think about like the branching of timelines and that sort of thing, this could make sense because, if you've got a hellscape world in a different dimension where it's got like nothing but like evil versions of people with mustaches.
Yes.
Or, heaven is the one where there like no nuclear war was ever known, and so we're all running around enjoying life, and like us here on Earth, we're like right in the middle. We've had a little bit of both. So the Bermuda Triangle may be an entryway for a transverse wormhole. All the missing ships and planes may exist in another parallel world, in a parallel universe, sort of like Land of the Lost.
Langoliers.
Yes, exactly.
I want to think that.
So, a lot of these things that he's proposing about his interdimensional wormhole theory they do ring true. So people may disappear and reappear at some other parts of the world or in a different time. People with their iPhones and pictures from the 1920s that show up, or like what was it, Nicolas Cage back in the Victorian times in his pictures, like, oh, he's a time traveler.
If anyone could be, it would be him.
Dude, totally.
Maybe that's why he's so fucking bonkers. I knew a dude when I was a lot younger, like a little after Katrina, who had come here from New Orleans, and he was an art dealer, and he said that Nicolas Cage was one of his best customers, and he also said that he hated dealing with Nicolas Cage because he was unhinged. He said he was always very polite, but he had just that type of politeness where you knew anything could set him off.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
a very volatile politeness.
Okay.
And he said that he was just fucking terrified of the guy.
I get it. That makes a lot of sense. If I ever meet him, I'm not going to tell him about my peanut butter spoons.
Why? You better.
I should. I'll just keep one in my pocket and show him and just like, here, I've got a peanut butter spoon with you on it.
I got a peanut butter spoon for you.
You ever had a peanut butter spoon?
Oh gosh, I got 3. It's okay. You can keep that one.
But not the other 2. Them's is mine.
It's mine.
My kids are going to be so disappointed when I leave them nothing but peanut butter spoons and haunted dolls in my fucking... in my will.
I mean, are they going to be surprised?
They will not be surprised because they'll know those are my like prized possessions.
Oh, they'll be like, oh look,
Auntie
Mama,
Meagan got Mama peanut butter spoons. Yeah,
look, she left us the peanut butter spoon.
We're so lucky. We remember these were in our kitchen all when we were growing up, all through our childhood.
They're gonna love them.
I know, especially when they figure out who Nicolas Cage is.
Right.
So there's a picture that exists where when it was taken on film, you see one human man standing in the national forest of wherever. When you look at the negative of this photo, there is no human man, but there are 3 ape-like, huge, hairy, hominid-looking motherfuckers, and no human man. And so when you look back and forth at it, you're like, and yes, I know I can hear everybody rolling their eyes. But it's one of those where you look at the negative and you see it, and you look at, the regular and you don't see it. So there are tons of examples of this in all parts of the world. But I think it's really interesting that we see a Bigfoot on one and not the other. So what we think are dreams are actually out-of-body experiences where we may be traveling to other universes via these wormholes. Now, this one sort of hit me because if anyone has ever had a dream that was like, you're just going to the grocery store, you have your pants on, your feet aren't purple, you're buying fucking Ritz crackers.
Dude, that is the only type of dreams I have.
Yeah. Then he proposes that we are traveling through interdimensional wormholes to parallel universes,
Man,
right?
parallel me is boring as fuck.
Dude, me too. So, that sort of hit me right. There's not, of course, just one transversal wormhole accessing this Earth, but thousands or even millions separately. Envisioning thousands and millions of wormholes twisting and crackling all over the Earth and receiving and taking and returning over and over. It's sort of like the Rainbow Bridge in Thor. It's like you just hop in the magical rainbow elevator, whether you mean to or not. But because we're here and this isn't part of our collective accepted conscious and we can't control it and we can't identify it yet, it seems crazy. But life after death can maybe be explained this way because in some cases, or even not even life after death, near-death experiences where you leave your body and you float up and, you go to a different place through a light tunnel. That could absolutely be traveling to another plane or parallel universe. When you meditate and you go to like a zen place, or you hear voices or you have visions, are you tapping into that wormhole? Now, this one I came up with myself. If you're walking down the street in New York City, right, and your reality is like, I feel the pavement under my feet, I smell the hot dog vendor, and all of a sudden you're approaching a place and you get fucking crazy deja vu, right? So you're like, whoa, I feel really weird. Is this happening again? Have I already lived this? My theory is that you're approaching a wormhole where your reality starts to warp a little bit. So it's not a matter of, oh, I've already lived this life, or this is a glitch in the matrix, but you're approaching maybe a place where reality is not what we believe it to be. That's my hot take.
I like that.
I like it too, because you know what? That to me feels more realistic than the idea that we're all in a simulation.
Oh, actually, it's a lot more probable that we are than we're not.
That, I know we've talked about that. I like to believe that we're not a simulation. That's just me.
Like, what difference would it make, though?
That's true. I'm still existing, whether I'm someone's sea monkey or not.
Which also kind of raises the question of, like, is AI, since it is kind of intelligent, like, is it sentient?
You know what? There is a series of books that Rachel just turned me on to, and they are like the Murderbot Diaries, and it talks about this. It's from the point of view of a murder bot, and he keeps trying to, all he wants to do is like free stream some Netflix, but he keeps changing his circuitry and becoming more and more self-aware. It's really, I'm excited to read it. So critics will say that trying to explain all the mysteries of the universe under the catch-all of wormholes is short-sighted, but in response, he said that, while not every situation can be explained by wormholes, I suspect it will be found over time as we find tools to test my hypothesis that a large number of the mysteries will be explained in this manner. So, the lost sock in the dryer, what if your sock literally inadvertently enters a wormhole that opens up and pops up in someone else's dimension? And you're like, what the fuck? And, parallel universe, you just got an extra sock back. The Missing 411. Now, this is a documentary that I've watched. The Missing is
I thought about watching that.
It's very, very good.
Intriguing.
It's very good. Now, The Missing 411 talks about people exclusively who are lost in the state parks, that phenomenon of people going into a forested area and completely evaporating, and then you go back a few days, a week later, 2 weeks later, and you find like their vest, their backpack, their clothes, but they're still fucking gone.
I think it's because of the stairways.
The stairways to heaven?
I mean, I don't know if they go to heaven. Nobody really does.
What are the stairways?
Oh, yeah, like in random fucking parks or whatever, like big ass parks, not just like, small park. There's these fucking stairs that lead to ? But whoever goes up them apparently has a real bad time.
Oh, shit. Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So Beckjord maintained the interdimensional hypothesis may possibly, if proven, explain why there are thousands of Bigfoot creature sightings every year with no zoological physical body ever found. And so Beckjord accumulated a large collection of enlarged photographs that he says show, among other things, half Bigfoots and invisible Bigfoots. So I've seen this before. This is talking about like the negative image where there was the Bigfoot, or if you see like a camera glitches and you get like a pair of legs. And I found a lot of this evidence that they showed in Bigfoot and the UFO Alien Connection documentary, which was very interesting. Apparently that's the thing, is you go to these places where there's like a known vortex and your pictures are all fucked up. That's a whole other thing. So Beckjord conducted much field work, such as camping out at what he considered to be window sites. And he said places where Bigfoot activity is frequently seen. He collected his own photographic evidence of what he believes to be a tribe of Bigfoots or aliens that are trying to maybe get back home. He died at the age of 69 from prostate cancer in 2008 near his home in Lafayette, California. But I think that this is a very interesting and I think very provable theory. More so, we've never had success with proving that he physically exists. And so I think that a lot of the people who see the blinding flashing light before a Bigfoot just shows up, I think more than likely that's a wormhole opening. I would consider that more likely than like from a UFO, but I'm not a UFO person. So the ghost people don't talk to the UFO people. The UFO people think the Bigfoot people are crazy. Like there's this giant divide in the paranormal community. And then everyone thinks the crystal people are like the dumb kids. They're like the drama kids, the metaphysical people.
Well, you put some citrine on it.
Yeah, right.
Dummy.
So, I mean, a lot of the things about his his wormhole theory ring true to me. And so I think that there's a lot more going on interdimensionally than we can acknowledge, we can see, we can test at this point in our lives. You know, again, they used to think we had ghosts in our head and would cut holes if you had too much of a headache or you got the blues on a Monday. You're like, I'm a sad spinster at the age of 22. They're like, let's let the ghosts out of your brain. You can sit in this wicker chair for the rest of your life wearing black. You know, so like,
that sounds fine.
Dude, science and medicine take these gigantic leaps, you know, and there's all these people, these alien people. And when I say alien people, I mean alien enthusiasts, like, and they're screaming about how we got all our technology from the aliens and we get this from the aliens. And probably, you know what? I see it. It's plausible.
Maybe.
It's totally plausible. I am open to aliens. My thing is, though, what I call an alien, do you call that same being an alien? Or do what I call a Bigfoot, you call an alien, then the other person calls an angel, another person calls a spirit guide. So it comes back to this thought that I had that used to really upset me. The fact that I will never know what pooping feels like to you. I will only ever know what pooping feels like to me. You know?
I never would have thought of it like that.
Well, and we can talk about, like, you know, when you
That's
eat a
so
bunch
funny.
You know, when you eat a bunch of sunflower seed casings and then your poop is like shrapnel filled and it hurts when it comes out. Like, we can talk about that as a shared experience, but I'll never know what level of hurt you have. You'll never know what level of shrapnel I have. The pooping experience is such an individualized thing that, like, I feel like this is the exact same way. If I saw Bigfoot, I would be like, holy shit, dude.
What's it like to poop as a
What's
Bigfoot?
it like to poop? Can I come with you?
Can I poop your poops?
Can I look at your poops? You know? So I would not be as afraid as maybe someone who thinks of them as like a giant ape that will rip your head off. And that may be my undoing. I might be the guy in Jurassic Park he's like, I might be Vincent D'Onofrio in Jurassic World, who's like, don't worry, they respect me. And then the raptor eats his face. You know, that might be me, but I can think of worse ways to go. Now we've come to the segment that I have been dreading and most excited for, Sexy Bigfoot. So Republican Denver Riggleman, yes, that's a real human man name, author of the book The Mating Habits of Bigfoot and Why Women Want Him, was elected to the House of Representatives of Virginia's 5th Congressional District.
That all tracks.
And so that was when it really came to the forefront that Bigfoot erotica is a thing. Now,
God.
I had heard about it from last podcast when they were doing like creepypasta stories every Halloween time-ish. They do creepypasta stories, and Henry Zabrowski read, I'll never forget this Bigfoot erotica he read because it was so disgusting and disturbing. And I just remember that the Bigfoot had to like fold his limp penis up several times before it would fit inside the woman. It was so disturbing.
Which is not how penises work. He has a dick. How does he not know that?
Right?
There's no... Oh my God. I have so many things to say about that.
I know. And Henry didn't write it. He just found it.
I know, but you know how, like, you'll read a book or, like, watch something and be like, well, this is obviously a dude's take on what he thinks chicks are?
Yes.
That's that. That's obviously a chick's take on who's never seen a penis on how to have sex with a Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. Like, that doesn't even sound good, first of all. Like, if his dick is so long that you have to roll it up like a garden hose to fit it in your crevasse,
yeah, exactly.
then, like, that means either you are fixing to get torn the fuck up.
Right.
Because, like, it's also, I would imagine the blood can't get all the way there. You're like kinking the hose.
Exactly.
There's nothing about that would translate into any form of sex. I mean, maybe if they were doing it in the butt, because, like, you got a lot of intestine tract.
You know what's interesting? A lot of the Bigfoot porn that I had to read through to get to this one is butt stuff.
It's gotta be.
I mean, is that because people have sex with horses in the butt?
It's because it wouldn't fit in any other anatomy.
Yeah, that's true. Damn, this was the most unpleasant wormhole that I fell down. I wanted to go back to YouTube and watch more Bigfoot UFO stuff. I was just like, I can't. So this particular story I have heavily edited, and I have done it for your own good as well as mine. But if you would like to read the unedited version of this, you go to literotica.com. You go to the Sasquatch section,
They have a
subgenre.
whole section of Sasquatch.
They do. This is called Back to the Squatch by Primate_House. Back to the Squatch. This was book 3.
Oh, goodness. How long are these books?
So this one, I don't know. It was several pages. I edited it very heavily down, just because nobody needs more than just a little taste, right?
Yeah, true that.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to read it.
God.
Feel free to stop me if you have questions, because I did.
I'm made of questions already.
When Kate's plane landed in Vancouver, she knew her whole life was still up in the air.
Washington or BC?
BC. She had indisputable proof of the existence of the Sasquatch, but had no idea what the next step would be. Whatever it was, she wanted to be part of it, though. Conversation, research, whatever the steps were. This was going to be her life's work from this moment onward. The other thing was that she had spent the past week getting fucked almost nonstop by a Sasquatch. Her hips were sore and her jaw felt strained from the massive blowjobs she'd given him when her see you next Tuesday was too sore to accommodate his massive member.
I hate when people refer to dicks as members.
I know,
member
right?
of what? That's a member of one. What club is your dick a part of?
Not anything I want to be a fucking part of.
Right?
She didn't regret a moment of it. It had been the best week of her life, but now she had a serious issue weighing on her mind. Could she be pregnant? Images flooded through her mind of his fingers, his tongue, all caressing her body.
What an idiot to not wear protection.
Right? I mean, at least
Like,
get a trash
holy
bag.
shit, dude. Has she not seen Outbreak? Fuck, man.
Oh my god.
You think maybe the whole thing with, like, the coronavirus and the bats, maybe that was just somebody who read way too much Dracula erotica and was, like, really going for it.
Dude, I believe it.
And they were just banging bats. They were like, I have read every single Dracula literotica has. I'm doing this. I don't care how hard they bite. If they bite me, that's cool. I'll turn into Dracula.
Like, I'm here now. There's no going back.
Right? I'm already here, and you know that it was an American.
It totally was.
It wasn't. I don't think anyone else could be that dumb.
Dude, seriously. She purred to herself.
Oh, God, it was a neckbeard fedora. Oh, God.
Ew.
Those poor bats.
I liked it when he put his thumb up my butt.
Gross.
That's what she thought to herself as she arrived at the pharmacy, her confidence turning to
Nobody ever
nerves.
thinks that.
She didn't know what outcome she was hoping for, but whatever it was, this was a serious moment. Oh, this was a serious moment?
The only serious moment. Jesus Christ.
Not just for her, but for the entire field of study she was hoping to establish. Nervously, she slid her money over the counter and crept out with the pregnancy test tucked in a plastic bag.
That's not how they sell them.
Full of shame, you have to like put your hood up and like shamefully run it across the self-checkout at fucking CVS.
Right.
Back in her apartment, she pulled down her pants and sat on the toilet, which we didn't really need the blow-by-blow for this.
Yeah, I know, right?
She slid the test underneath her and started to pee gently. Oh, okay.
Why gently?
Right? Have you ever peed gently? I just pee.
I don't think I've peed No.
Oh,
I pee with reckless abandon. I'm just
dude,
everywhere.
I'm thinking about other stuff. I'm peeing. So my microphone was all fucked up after our Panera bread got delivered. So, you know what? If you want to finish that story, you should go read it. You can see all the things I cut out.
But it's so fucking bad.
Dude, I'm so excited. Yeah, so tomorrow, which is the 7th, is mine and Dave's 12th wedding anniversary. And so we're going to Stanford. It's going to be so good. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Well, and like, we've been actually having moments to ourselves lately where it's like just us and DJ's at school and Wolfie's downstairs with my mom. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is great.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm married to a human.
I'm married to a human man that I like and that like we get to and remember why we like each other sometimes.
Right.
Instead of just fighting and like being parents, which gets to be kind of a bummer after a while. But
yeah, I bet.
But yeah, so long story short, Bigfoot and his floppy ding dong are coming for you through the wormholes. And if you don't agree with me, come fight me.
I think that his dick looks like a long goat tail.
Dude, see, and that's another reason Bigfoot has to take me with him over like the Rainbow Bridge to like whatever dimension he's from, because I need to know what he fucking eats.
What if it's gross?
I mean,
what if he only eats like, you know, coagulated blood or whatever?
I'm 100% sure he only eats the poo of other animals on his planet.
Yeah, I could see that.
And so when he comes here, he's just like, oh my God, berries. Oh, delicious. Human food is delicious. I don't think he eats humans. I
don't think he eats humans either. Yeah. I don't think that he eats like meat.
I don't think so either.
That's just my hot take though.
I think he's probably, because he is like the goldfish or like, you know, of his planet, or the cat of his planet, he probably just has to like eat the leavings of other cuter animals. I don't know. I'm just trying to think who's like,
unless his pet mom is me, in which case he gets to eat like really high class whatever the fuck he wants.
yeah.
Buddy the dog eats well.
Well, that's my Bigfoot series. I hope you enjoyed it. Again,
I enjoyed it.
I didn't scream, so that's good. I didn't start screaming. So kudos to me. I shouldn't even say screaming. I didn't start yelling. I didn't accuse anyone of trying to gaslight me. Like, it went really well. Feel free to like, dude, tag me in your YouTube video where you're telling me that I'm wrong. Like, we'll fight. We'll talk it out.
And I will ref.
Yes, and Meagan has to be the ref, because she'll keep me from saying anything I regret. So, so join us next week. We've got 2 more episodes in our cryptid month. Dude, thank you to all the new listeners. Thank you to everyone supporting us and going to the website, listening to our episodes. You guys are the best.
Yeah, that makes us really happy. You know?
It does. It really does. It makes it feel like we're not just talking. We're not just screaming at the wall. You guys appreciate us.
And as always, if you have any ideas or anything like that, hit us up on the Instagram.
Yes.
It's just utterly unrelated pod, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hit us up, bros.
Dude, tell us what you want to hear. We'll talk about it.
Fuck yeah, we will.
We'll probably throw some dicks in there too.
Maybe so.
See you next week.
Da, da, da.
Da, 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 da.